Hello, lovely people, and welcome along to vlog number 6. Sorry it's a bit late, but Christmas got in the way. Anyway, it's here now. And what I want to talk to you about are the new pioneers of music. And I believe those pioneers are us. It's our generation because we're still here at this age, 60, 70, 80, 90, whatever. And we're still doing it. There are thousands of me across the world playing electric guitar, playing drums, playing bass, playing in bands, whether it's a covers band, whether you're writing your own stuff, or you're playing the blues or reggae, soul, whatever the thing is, the whole genre, this whole thing of this beach music, whatever you want to call it, is we're still at it. And I think a lot of that has got to do with the fact that we were the first generation where the music actually seduced us into a lifestyle. You know, I remember being a little kid, 3 or 4, whatever it was, driving along in the car with my mum and dad, and my dad would be singing that old Black Magic, or he'd be singing some Sinatra song or something, And music was a part of his life. He liked music, and my mum liked music, We had records in the house and a radiogram and all that. But they weren't absorbed in it quite the same way that we were, And I think that that's why it's had its longevity, whatever the word is. So because we become embroiled in it, and it became our lifestyle. And it's extraordinary, how quickly it happened. I wrote it down. Great Balls of Fire came out in 1957. By 1976, we had punk. We had a revolution against the fogies. It was incredible. It was amazing. And I think that it happened and it progressed and it turned into a thing because there was so much going on and there was so much music about everywhere. And it wasn't just about the music. It was, the bands. It was about what they were wearing. It was about their, what they looked like. And also this thing of this sense of freedom. The Beatles, the first band, as a band, to write their own material. Actually, Marty Wilde, the old English rock and roll singer, used to write his own songs as well. But anyway, the Beatles were a phenomenon. They were a band. They wrote their own songs. And through the advent of certain stimuli and substances arriving in the country, I suppose that's definitely had an effect on it. They weren't afraid to experiment. I just gave you the thing between Jerry Lee and punk. In the Beatles' case, while I'm doing facts and figures, I've written them down. In between She Loves You and Sgt. Pepper's, there were 4 years. She Loves You come out in 63. Sgt. Pepper's come out in 67. Look at the absolute two ends of the evolutionary scale right there. And, but in parallel to that, I don't have a favourite band. Yes, I do. I'm a liar. It's the Rolling Stones, always has been. All right. But the Rolling Stones have had a very, very sort of narrow field they've existed in, that whole bluesy R&B thing. And so it just kind of showed us, us people who were always also experimenting with substances and whatnot, you can do what you want. Be what you like, and we could dress how we wanted. And there was a freedom, and it was all wrapped up. It was all absorbed in the music. And I think that's why it's lasted, because it wasn't just something, something for the weekend. So can't believe I said that. It wasn't just like, you know, you take your girlfriend to the dance on a Friday night, you know, at the Wimbledon Pally, listen to loads of music, you know, and then, you know, whistle a song once or twice during the week. This was a huge part of our daily existence, and that's why it's lasted. And, you know, it's quite strange as well, you know, when you think about, you know, Mick Jagger famously, you know, I can't see me doing this, you know, when I'm 30. What about 80, Mick? You know, or Ringo, or I'll give this a couple of years, and hopefully, you know, I hope to open up a chain of hairdressers. I mean, it's incredible. And here they are now, and still in their 80s, still rocking out. McCartney, you know, incredible. And we've all come along with them. And that's why we're still doing it. I saw a thing the other day. I heard a podcast the other day, as we've mentioned, punks, you know, the Rebels. And a very good podcast, actually, which I highly recommend. It's called The Raconteurs, and it's with Gary Kemp and Guy Pratt, and they have some amazing people on there, and they're very good. They're very good interviews, and check it out, Raconteurs. Anyway, Tony James was on there from Generation X. He's now the same age as me. He's 70, and two of Generation X, Tony and Billy Idol, and two of the Sex Pistols, Steve Jones and the drummer, Paul Cook, got together and they formed Generation Sex. Of course, why would you call it anything else? Anyway, Tony James was saying he's having the time of his life. You know, it's kind of never been so successful. You know, they're flying around the world, playing huge venues and all that. And it's bloody 70. I mean, it's incredible. It's amazing. And I know from my own personal little world, you know, I've never written this well. I've never played this well. You know, I've got a great tune coming for you at the end of this, by the way, so don't rush off. You know, I think I'm just getting better. And people are, you know, and whatever you're doing, you know, if you're playing in a covers band or you're writing tunes or you're an acoustic duo or played a blues or whatever you're doing, you know, now, and you're still doing it at our age, you are a pioneer. And hats off to you, and more power to you, and long may it live. And there's another phenomena that really, you know, like these bands that are still going as well. And, you know, not only have their original fans stayed with them, but they brought in their kids, and then their kids have brought in their kids, and so on. And they're so, you know, in this world where, you know, modern music, and not to slag it off, you know, it's not how great it was and how shit it is. I'm always saying that it is what it is, okay? But modern music now, you know, there's hardly any intros, you know, there's no middle eights. It's like get straight to the chorus as soon as you can. Everything's perfectly in time, everything's perfectly in tune, and everything is perfectly tailored, you know, to fit on TikTok or whatever it is, you know. So when they go and see someone like Springsteen or Jagger, you know, it must have an impact on them, you know, to be that close to the organic thing, you know. And so, yeah, I don't think it's ever going to die. I think it's just going to evolve. And this, you know, AI rubbish that's coming upon us, you know, I think there'll always be room for the real thing. And because that's what it is. There, I've said it. So, time for a tune. And this is called Landed on My Feet Again. And, you know, it's all part of that album that I've told you about. And enjoy it. It's got a few warts, you know, it's just me in here again. You know, it's just a demo. And there's probably a few dodgy bits. You'll love it, though. Landed on my feet again. May you continue to land on your feet. And until the next time, keep doing it. See you soon. try to put it right, but I get caught between the voodoo and the stardust. Nothing I can do will be enough for you, so I'm holding my defense. After all the love, tell myself I can live without her. It's not out of my hand. I got her, I'm landed on my feet again. I'm stood in the way I do. And now that I'm landed on my feet again, and I'm better off without you. I wish that I could stay, but that's not my way. Better cut my lock, then keep it in my pocket. I was good to you, I did what you want me to. 'Cause you say one thing and you're thinking another. After all the laughs, tell myself I can live without her. It's not out of my hand. I get up, I've landed on my feet again. I stood in the way I do, and now that I've landed on my feet again, I'm better off without you. The conversation rolls around my head, and that's good as saying it to you. Backwards and forwards between the love and the dread. Well, I know I'm good through. I can live without her. It's not out of my hand. I got up, I'm landed on my feet again. I stood in